Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosie Victoria and I'm a psychic medium and spiritual business coach. Now we are diving into the star sign reading for Libra of October 2024. So if you are a Libra and you want to know what's in store for the month of October, then stay tuned because I'm about to dive right in. But don't forget to like and subscribe down below so that I can keep creating lots of monthly content here on YouTube. Now, Libra, as we're going into October, Spirit is showcasing to me an element of frustration. You really want stronger communication from the people inside of your life. And what I'm noticing right now is you feel like you're constantly waiting for other people. Now, in this constant waiting for other people, you are getting frustrated. You feel like you're always waiting for somebody else to communicate clarity, to give you confirmation. And it's creating a lot of discomfort inside of you. Now, how this is playing out for you, Libra, is the fact of you want some type of commitment. This might be a relationship, it might be a friendship, it might be an event, it might be a work contract. You want some kind of commitment. And right now you feel like you keep going back and trying to prompt certain conversations, but the commitment's not coming the way that you expected. Now, this is a little bit frustrating for you because you feel like there's been a dangling of a carrot. And so when it comes down to the communication, you feel like you have been led on a little bit, that you've been made to feel like something is coming and it's not, and it's frustrating you. However, what Spirit is saying is come back into your personal power. And remember, you don't need to wait for confirmation from somebody else. Now, as I look at this confirmation, Spirit is just reminding you that just because you're not seeing the communication the way that you want it, doesn't mean that it's not coming. And the person in question here, the situation in question here is going to come to the surface. If you're waiting for somebody to commit to you romantically, if you're waiting for, clarity in a work contract, it is going to come, just not in the timeline that you anticipated. And so Spirit is saying, give it time, take a step back, and do not question yourself. Remember, sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And I feel like right now, there is no timeline in which anything's meant to happen. And so you just need to give space, because the minute you start pressuring somebody into a decision is the minute you start to disconnect from them. And so what I'm noticing right now is that you need to be very, very patient with somebody else's timeline and accept that when they're ready, they will move forward and they will take the plunge. Now, as I dive into this can be slightly frustrating because I'm seeing that you are super excited by the energy that's unleashing inside of your life. And so you feel like you want somebody to share this energy with. And at times you're looking around you and you're like, I don't see anyone. Like, who am I going to share this with? But what Spirit is showcasing is that you have to stay grounded in your own focus and your own center, knowing that people are watching you and they're proud of you, even if they're not necessarily feeding into it with you. And remember that some of our journeys are meant to be personal rather than in collaboration. And so what Spirit is saying to me right now is that you are almost on a personal journey and your romantic relationships aren't going to come with you. You are on a business journey, and just because that client or that work contract didn't come forward doesn't mean that you should slow down. This is a time of moving forward regardless of if the energy around you is coming or not. And I feel like you've just needed that reminder that it's okay to stop waiting for other people and to fully engage in your own process now moving forward. Now, what Spirit is showcasing to me with this is the fact of you need to trust yourself. I feel like you need to trust yourself, but you also need to trust other people. You have been through a lot when it comes down to trust. And there's been somebody in your life who has broken your trust and made you question a lot of the situations around you. But this is a time where you need to have faith in the people around you. I feel whenever you lean into a situation with lack of trust, people have their doubts, right? And so you don't want to put that onto the dynamic. You don't want to make a client feel suffocated. You don't want to make a partner feel suffocated. You want to trust them. And so this is a time to move through your insecurities and get really, really grounded in the way that you feel about you and your life rather than projecting onto somebody else. Life is within your control. And I don't know why you've entered this state of feeling like you're waiting for other people, but your life is within your control. Now, what I can see is that there's this huge pressure of timelines for you. It's like you've reached this moment in your life and you're like, I need to tick all these boxes and I need to make sure that I have all of these things. and you're in no rush. Like, there's no way in which we have to do life, and not all of us have to do life in the same way. We don't have to settle down and get married. We don't have to have children. We don't have to travel. You can do whatever it is that you want and find value in that. But I feel like there's these old belief systems inside of you where you feel this pressure and this ticking time bomb of, I've got to do this, 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 and this. And it's making you stressed out to the core, and then you're projecting that onto the dynamics around you. Now, what Spirit is saying is you need to make sure that the commitment that you're urging somebody else for, whether that be business, whether that be romantic, you need to make sure that you're actually ready for it, because I feel with this urgency that's inside of you, you're not thinking as deeply, as intentionally as needed. It feels like you just need to take a minute to say to yourself, what do I actually want now moving forward? Is this the person that I want now moving forward? And you've been so focused on like getting what it is that you want that you haven't been asking those questions. Now, what Spirit is showcasing to me, which is super interesting, is as we're going through October, is like you'll enter the month feeling like you're continuously prodding someone to give you an answer to this question or to this situation, and you're not getting it. And in that, your body's getting a little bit bored, and it's like, meh, did I really want it anyway? And it's funny because it feels like you've put all this fight in for something that maybe you didn't actually want. And so there's a lot to be learned here around making sure that the things that you want in your life, you're setting the boundary, you're setting the standard, you're making sure that you ask very intentional questions around receiving, and you don't just settle for anything. Now, there's a balance issue here, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are going through karmic ties of past contracts, because when I look at the relationship, it's like you have this delay, you have this lack of communication, you're waiting on somebody, you're not getting the communication the way that you want it, and then just as you're losing interest, somebody else is bouncing in. And that can be a little bit confusing because you're like, oh, maybe I do want it now. They're bouncing into me. Their energy's coming to the surface. Maybe I do want it. Maybe I do want this client. Maybe I do want this relationship. And so in that moment, you have to decide, okay, maybe I do want it and I just needed to be patient, or maybe I didn't want it and I need to trust my gut and move with the energy. So there's a lot of thought process that's happening here. You need to be thinking very clearly on what it is that you desire now moving forward. I do see that you'll go through a period where it's like, I don't want it, I'm going to push it away. And then as the energy rewrites itself, you're going to allow yourself back into these connections. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget to drop me a like and subscribe down below. And please stay tuned for more monthly star sign readings. As always, this is a collective reading. So if you do want a personalized reading, then drop down into the comments section and I tell you exactly how to snag that reading with me.